My pleasure to introduce our guest today. Casey Haberman is the Executive Director of the Southeast South Dakota Tourism Association, and from what Rand was telling me, we do very well in the state in comparison to even to Black Hills area. So I'm sure you'll tell us all about that, how good we are. So, Casey.
All right, well, I first wanted to say thank you for having me today and for giving me a few minutes to talk about tourism in Southeast South Dakota. I was introduced, my name is Casey Haberman. I'm the Executive Director for Southeast South Dakota Tourism, and we are one of 4 regional tourism offices in the state of South Dakota, as you mentioned. And yes, for the past 3 years, we actually came out on top in visitor spending in the state of South Dakota. The bulk of that spending does come from Minnehaha County, but we'll take it. We'll run with those bragging rights. But on your tables, you'll see these pens. So you can take these. Now these are not last year's numbers, but the year before. But there's a banner in them that tells you what we did in visitor spending the year prior. And then there's some fun trivia on the back there. So you can take those with you and spread the word about how awesome we all are. So let's see. How do I advance this forward? Do I just push the forward key? Okay, there we go. So I'll just give you a little overview about our organization. We represent 14 counties down here in the southeast corner of the state. We also work with members across the state lines. We are a 501c6 nonprofit organization, membership-based. So we are charged with driving economic impact for our communities, counties, individuals, businesses in this region. This is our team. So everyone on our team is part-time except for myself. But everyone works remotely except for my good friend Sue. Unfortunately, she's battling stage 3 colon cancer right now. And so she's just got done with her last chemo treatment on Monday. So we're really excited about that and looking forward to her making a full recovery. This is just a little bit of information about the tourism hierarchy. So just kind of how we all fit within this nest. So U.S. Travel Association, Travel South Dakota, the 4 regions, the local chambers and CVBs. I did want to also mention that there's several members that we do work with in this room today. So we have the VCDC, the Shakespeare Festival, the Cultural Association, USD themselves. So I'm very grateful for the collaboration and the partnership that we have here in Vermillion as well. And then Carol Robertson with the National Music Museum is also on my board of directors. So we're very grateful for all those partnerships. As I mentioned, we do work with members across state lines, and that's something that I always try to remind people is that when a visitor comes to a destination, they really don't care about borders. They just want to know what there is to do in that area. So we're happy to work with partners in all 3 of those neighboring states to our region. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of our funding. So we do receive a grant from the Department of Tourism. All 4 regions do receive that grant, and it's $80,000. But then this is an overview of how we generate the rest of our funding. So the way that we accomplish our goal of driving economic impact for all of those entities is first building awareness. So I'll go through a couple of the different ways that we do that. One of the partnerships that we have with the Department of Tourism, and $40,000 of their grant that they provide to us goes into the community co-op program. That program is available to any community in the state of South Dakota. There is a minimum investment for that of $40,000, but they match that with an additional $40,000, and then you get access to all of the great agencies that they work with. The other thing I like to point out to people with the tourism tax, I'm sure most of you are familiar with that, the main way that you're able to get access to those dollars to promote your business or organization is to work directly with the Department of Tourism through their a la carte program, through their community co-op program, but all of those tourism dollars go directly to the Department of Tourism, and so that's why it's a great idea to partner with Travel South Dakota as much as you can. The first year, so this is our second year campaign scope. We just got done with our first year, but these are our target markets and our audiences, and then the different channels that we utilize to reach those folks. And that's a video that we worked with them on.
So, you want to make more memories that stick. Stop scrolling. Start rolling. Southeast South Dakota is winning. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
And a lot of the imagery and the assets that are included in these videos and our digital creative all come from the Department of Tourism. I believe a USD grad, Byron Banasiak, I think that's how you say his name, Banachik. Oh my goodness, I knew I was going to butcher it. He's great, and as you guys all know, just incredibly talented, and it's just such an asset to have him on the team. And so that's where a lot of these images and videos come from. Again, just some more of the creative that's included in that campaign. And our hunting video.
Tis the season to put on your best vest and paint the town blaze orange to answer the chorus of the most pheasants in the nation. Here, opening day is a holiday, the beginning of a ritual, the continuation of a tradition. Follow the call of the field to Southeast South Dakota. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
And so these are some of the results from last year's campaign, the highest performing areas, and then the impressions and the bookings that were driven. You can see that they track not just in destination bookings, but across the state too. So. The other things that we do, now these are things that we do on our own as an organization. So we last year attended 5 travel shows, and those are the different cities that we went to. We also participated in International Roundup this year, which was in Rapid City. There's a profile sheet on your tables that we use. So this is a travel show that brings international travel guides to the United States. These are travel guides who know that their customers are looking for activities and things to do in this area. So there's a consortium of states that work together on this, and so I think it's Montana, Idaho. No, Montana dropped out this year. So it's Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, and South Dakota. But they bring in these tour guides, and then you basically have speed dating, and you go around and you promote your destination to try to give them more information to take back to their countries and sell our area. This year we're also working, it's about to launch here, but we're working on a geofencing and retargeting campaign for College World Series, knowing that we have a ton of people that are going to be coming from around the United States that have a propensity to travel. So we're excited to see how this one plays out for us. Facebook and Instagram. We haven't dipped our toes into TikTok. It's a lot for our small team to handle just those 2 platforms right now, but we're working hard on those 2. Travel guides and our maps. So on your table you'll see the 3 travel guides that we work on every year, and then we also do a map. So the large state visitor guide is a partnership or a collaboration between the 4 regions as well as Travel South Dakota. That one is distributed through countless channels. Travel South Dakota mails out the visitor packet requests, which include that travel guide. All 4 regions distribute it. We distribute it through our members in all of the welcome centers and several other different things that I'll get into here in a little bit. But then our regional travel guide, we had to bump up to 45,000 guides this year. So I guess I didn't mention either that I took over the organization in 2022, and we completely reinvented the organization. We rebranded, completely redesigned all of our guides, new website, started a visitor email platform, all of those things. And I was told that prior to our doing or accomplishing those things, there was pallets of visitor guides that were recycled every year. So we were super excited last year when we heard that we were completely out of guides. We were actually reaching out to our members to try to get them to send them back to us so we had enough to mail out for the requests that we were getting. So we did bump up to another 5,000 copies this year for that one. Our sportsman's guides have been doing really well for us as well. We ran out of them last year. We'll see how it shakes out this year, but we're working on that one right now. That's our fall publication that focuses more on hunting and fishing and the outdoors. We're excited to be working on a really great article that's going to help educate people on how to get on the river and do some paddling. So we're excited about that one for this next year. But we try to get that into the welcome centers before Sturgis because we know that audience has a higher propensity of wanting to get out into the outdoors and do hunting and fishing and those kinds of activities. Our map is just a little pocket guy. So again, it's just another opportunity for our members to get in front of folks. We did a partnership with Game Fish and Parks this year to try to highlight all of the state parks in our region, which a lot of people I don't think really know much about. But we have 18 state parks in our region, so, and then we promote them all online as well. I talked about the ways that we distribute them. We take them to the travel shows and all of the other things. We also have a unmanned visitor center down in Omaha at Westroads Mall, and so I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a bit too. We do print advertising, so those are just some of the publications that we work with. Event promotion, so all of our members are invited to add their events to our event calendars, both on our website, and then we pull all of those events onto our event calendar. We added over 1,500 events last year for our members. So it's a great opportunity for our members to get some additional exposure, and then we work on those things through our visitor email program. We promote it through our social channels and other ways as well. Westroads Mall, I mentioned that. It's Nebraska's largest enclosed shopping center. Funny story about how that whole thing came about. When I lived in Omaha before I moved home, I was the marketing manager at Westroads, and before I was in this position, I was the tourism director for the city of Yankton. I reached out to my GM and I said, would you let me do a window display? And he said, why don't you just do a whole space? And I was like, So it originally was Visit Yankton space. They turned it over, or they backed out last year and reached out to me right away and asked if I wanted to continue, and I said absolutely. It has a high, its audience there, the shoppers there have a really high disposable income, and how, as much shopping that goes on online, that property itself really does have high monthly traffic. So it's 1.5 million visitors each year. I was actually there in 2014, I believe, when we did the renovation of the property too. So it's been renovated in the last 10 years. So it's a really great property and a great opportunity for us to reach those folks down in Omaha. We also do a lead generation effort. So we have 2 sweepstakes that we run every year. We promote them in our visitor guides, online, website, all that. But we generated over 2,000 new email contacts through those channels last year. And then once we do that, we then work hard on connecting to inform folks about what there is to do here. So I mentioned earlier that we sent out a little over 4,000 visitor packet requests. So those requests come through phone, a website, email. We also get reader service leads from some of the publications that we work with too. Visitor email, so we're approaching 8,200, which is, I think, really great since we just started that in July of 22. So we're going to continue working to grow that audience and use it to help our members connect with them. But those are the stats on our open rates and all that. We kind of already talked about Facebook and Instagram. The website traffic, we did see, so when we redid the website, we did see quite a big dip in traffic. So us joining the community co-op program was a really great timing for us because a lot of the assets or the tactics that are used are digital. So it drove a ton of traffic to our website. So we're going to continue to work hard on those things. This is that visitor impact we were talking about, the visitor spending. So in 2024, we brought in $2.05 billion in visitor spending. And, you know, the thing that I always remind people is that most of those are new dollars. Not all of it is dollars coming from outside of South Dakota, but that's why we work so hard on trying to bring people from outside of the state, because we don't have to send their kids to school. You know, we don't have to pave their roads and all of those things. So that's why those are the cream of the crop visitors that we work hard on bringing to South Dakota. But because of tourism, every South Dakota household pays a little over $1,000 less in state and local taxes. So it's super important that we continue to promote tourism in South Dakota. This is just a little snapshot of like the jobs that we created. So 40% of tourism jobs are here in Southeast South Dakota, and we also pay our tourism people better than the other regions as well. So then I'll go through some of the ways that we serve our members. So these are the membership benefits that all of our members get. And I always tell people that we are not a marketing agency. We don't even play one on TV. So all of and just like BCDC, you know, all of the dollars that are spent with us are reinvested into promoting our members. So we do try to keep our advertising opportunities as low as possible, because we want them to be affordable for our members. A lot of our members are small businesses and people that don't really have the time or the expertise to do some of the things that we do. So we just want to make sure that we're working hard for our members and using the dollars that they spend with us to do what we are charged with doing. But they also receive the so travel guide listing. Every member is listed in our regional guide for free, website profile. I mentioned the event promotion. We do a monthly industry newsletter. That isn't just for members, so if anyone's interested in learning more about what we do on a monthly basis, you can sign up for our Southeast Compass. And we provide information about what we're up to, new opportunities that are coming down the pike, things that Travel South Dakota are working on, and all those kinds of things. We also offer training and networking opportunities. So on some of the tables, I didn't bring enough for every table, but we have a that little spiral bound notebook. We just got done with our annual meeting on May 1st, and we worked hard, actually partnered with the USD Beacom School of Business and Coyote Business Consulting to provide some training on AI. That's a topic that a lot of our members are very interested in right now, and so Liz and Chelsea were able to help us with some of that. So we also do industry advocacy. I'm the vice president of the Tourism Coalition of South Dakota, so that's the advocacy group for the tourism industry in the state. So if you're interested in learning more about that, we would love to have more people join that organization, because it's super important to protecting the funding mechanism that we have for tourism here in South Dakota. And then all of our members also have discounted advertising opportunities. This is just a snapshot of what our membership is comprised of, the different categories. And then some of the trends of the new members that we've been acquiring. Agritourism is continuing to grow. It's super big in our region, just with all of the agriculture, and it's something that people in the larger cities and international visitors are really interested in. So we're going to continue to work with those businesses. Breweries and wineries, we just started working with 19 Brewing Company here in Vermillion, as well as many others. But we've had a 36% net increase in membership since we started too, so that's super exciting. Again, the advocacy arm, so I helped TCSD with the 2 roundtables with Senator Rounds and Dusty Johnson just a couple months ago. And I was talking with Chris that Carmen, the new executive director, is working hard on a legislative toolkit. A lot of people are just not super comfortable, don't really know how to go about visiting with the legislators, so we're working on those things when we're in the off season from the legislative session. But that's super important and something that I like to point out. The advertising opportunities, so on your tables as well, there's a booklet that has our advertising, kind of our menu, if you will. So these are just the things that are included in there. Our travel guides, like I mentioned, there's the regional guide, the one with the gal at the melons. Everybody is mentioned in that guide for free, but if you would like additional exposure, you can do that as a paid opportunity. Our website, and we do a lot of different things at our website, a lot of different ways people can get involved. This is a blog we did with DeSmet. We are able to work with members outside of our region as well. We have an MOU among the 4 regions. You have to be a member within your region, the region you exist in, and then you can join the other regions. But we worked on this with the Laura Ingalls folks up in DeSmet last year. With the economic uncertainty this year, this is something new that we're offering our members. Secretary Hagan advised everyone to keep that top of mind because visitors are looking for those deals this year. So we're offering this new opportunity for people to get their coupons and help drive traffic that way as well. Visitor email, so there's paid opportunities in there. Social media, so we were asked multiple times last year to offer a paid opportunity for our members, so that's something that we started doing this year. Lead generation, so if a community, I could see individual attractions utilizing this, but for the most part it's the larger communities that are taking advantage of this, where we have our visitor packet request and then we say, would you like to learn more about this community, and they can check the box, and then at the end of the month we provide all of those leads to those communities. Hospitality calendars, so we do these as well, but they're meant more for our members. So when a visitor comes to your business or community, you have a resource that you can just hand them that's ready to go. We send those out on a monthly basis, and we do one for each of the 5 districts. So we chunk our region up so that people know what there is to do in the place that they're in at that time. Travel shows. These are all, again, paid opportunities if people want to partner with us. The Westroads Mall space, we have 27 partners down there in that one. This was a campaign that we worked on with Experience Sioux Falls last year, so if there's things in the advertising booklet that people want to package together, we'll work with a member and provide a discount for them. But that was for their Sioux Falls sourced winter box that we worked with them on. And then looking forward, so we are also really excited about the project that I've wanted to do since I started, but there's one of these guys on your table that explains this project. I found this little pocket guide that has all of Fargo's restaurants in it. And we just know how hard and how competitive it is for our restaurants, breweries, wineries, and all of those different culinary folks to keep the doors open. So all of our culinary members are going to be listed in our new guide for free next year, and then we have opportunities as well for other members to jump into that if they wanted to be included. But we're going to start out with 10,000 copies, and we'll have a limited distribution for the first year and see how it goes. And then we're going to be working on some strategic planning. So we were just kind of running full steam ahead with our reinvention of the organization. So now it's time to kind of take a step back and see where we want to go from here. So we're going to be working on that this next year as well. And then additional opportunities. So we're working on some print co-ops for our members. We're running that geofencing campaign for the first time on our own. If it goes well, then we're going to turn around and offer it up to our partners as well, and then some of the other things that we're working on too. We also are going to continue to enhance our member support. So I mentioned that we do the marketing trainings. We started a new webinar series. Our first one that we did was the small business administration on loans that are available to small businesses. We also do offer radio interviews. We have a weekly spot with KVHT over in Yankton, so if any member wanted to talk about what they have going on, totally free, just shoot me an email and you can come on with me on Tuesday mornings and talk about your business or activity. And then we also, that's our friend Eldon. He wants me to come see him after this, so. And then we also offer up a tour of the town. So that's something that I recognized right away when I was with Visit Yankton. If you aren't going out to a destination or a business, you can't really tell that story as well if you don't know what they have to offer. So if there's any business or entity that would like me or my staff to come out, take pictures, kind of show us around so that we can tell your story better, just again, shoot us an email and we'll come out there and spend some time with you. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yeah.
What's the number one visited site or whatever within this region?
Oh boy. Well, I know in Sioux Falls they will tell you it's the Empire Mall. I don't know that off the top of my head. We don't have access to you know, the different platforms that will provide that information. We just don't have the funding to have access to those kinds of things, but I know in Sioux Falls they track those things and they'll tell you it's the Empire Mall. So, sure, yeah.
I can see that you guys are doing a lot of what you are doing in so many different directions. But looking at the changing technology and all that, so how does it work with print copies and technology, and how are you staying focused in the right direction for that?
Yeah, and so that's where we lean heavily on the community co-op program for a lot of our digital promotion. But I will tell you, 2 years ago, Travel South Dakota puts on a fantastic tourism conference. So if any of you have not been, I highly recommend. They had a speaker there that was talking about AI and just the internet in general. And that question was asked of him. And he talked a lot about, and forgive me for my swear word here, but it's not my term. He called it the in-shitification of the internet. And he gave the example of the snake eating its tail and showed us some examples of websites that are regenerating and all of that kind of thing. And I mean, just from my own perspective, I can tell you that I'm getting overwhelmed with all of the things on the internet. And he talked about how publications are not going to go away. In fact, he thought that they would be more reliable, something that people can have in their hands and they know that it's being put together by a destination or destination marketing organization that knows their region. So his advice was that no, they're not going to go away. The digital world is just going to keep expanding, and we're going to keep plugging away and trying to do what we can with the resources we have. But we do rely heavily on the community co-op program for a lot of that. Yep.
You mentioned your geofencing campaign that you have coming up. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? Where the fencing is and what the targeting is?
Sure. So if any of you have been to the College World Series, there's a baseball. There's a term for it that they use, but it's like a baseball village outside. So we did about a half mile around the stadium. And so there'll be served an ad when they're in destination, and then we're going to be retargeting them with digital ads throughout the next 30 days. And then we have access to that, whether or not they actually came to South Dakota, for up to a year afterwards. So we'll be able to track that as well.
More
Yeah.
questions?
So if any of you know any businesses that you think would be a good fit for us, I have business cards. I'd love to visit with you more. We are going to be working heavily on the culinary category because we want to fill up that new publication that we have. And I know you guys have such fantastic restaurants here. I'd really like to work with a lot more of the restaurants here in Vermillion and then throughout the state. The other thing I will say is that I think that that could also be a publication that people in our region will use in the wintertime. I mean, when it's cold outside, that's, I think, our favorite pastime is going out to eat and that kind of thing too. So yeah, shoot me a note if you know of anybody that would be a good fit. We'd love to help promote them and drive business their way. So, thank you. I have prizes. If I forgot, I have a little pop quiz and I have prizes down here. Okay, can I do this real quick? Okay. Let's see. What is the only East River National Park? Who said that? Yeah, there you go. I think I have limited sizes here, so I'm just going to put these here and then.
What was the answer?
Missouri National Rec River. I have several here that we can pick from. Let's see. Well, you guys already know the answer to that one. Well, I was going to say which region brought in the most visitor spending. Where can you ride one of the world's last steam-powered carousels? I didn't even know this, and so I found out about this by going to a tour of the town to Madison. The Prairie Village has, and if you haven't been, it is beautifully restored. They spent a lot of time and money on that. There's a great article in South Dakota Magazine on that. But yeah, so that's another fun little thing. There's also, I won't go into any more trivia, but there is trivia on the back of those pens too, like I mentioned, if you want to test your friends and family. But if anyone's interested in grabbing some of this swag, you can certainly come up and grab some. But I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to be here. So thank you.
We have one more task.
Oh, okay. I got to pick the winner.
50-50, so definitely pick the winner here. Betty Smith. Betty here? Betty's not here. You have to be here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Appreciate all that good information. So, again, thanks for our visitors for coming today. Shannon, Renee, and Annika, right? Did I get it right? Okay. Come back again. Come often.